Welcome to Above the Garage.
Hi, friends. Welcome to our discussion of Industry, Season 4, Episode 2. Let's do our round of introductions and dive in.
Hi, I'm Raquel.
Hi, I'm Aubrey.
I'm Allie.
And I'm Kate. Man, Kit Harington in this episode absolutely killed me. He's so good.
This was a masterpiece of an episode for him.
Right?
Yeah, he needs to win like all kinds of awards for this.
Award worthy.
Yeah, from the opening shot, even where he's trying to keep his tears at bay as the vote counts are being read,
So good.
to the very end. I'm obsessed with his performance in this episode. Anyway,
Yeah, no, he's been really good in these.
He's made me want to watch Game of Thrones. I never got into it, but his acting has made me want to just see
yeah,
what it's about, even though I know I might hate the ending.
I think he's definitely leveled up now. Like, this episode, I think, was like the most amazing performance I've ever seen from him in anything I've seen him in.
Yeah, same.
So good.
But I guess I haven't seen like a whole lot of his stuff that wasn't Game of Thrones. So.
He is a snack too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah.
I like this season. It's so different.
So different.
It looks like a different show.
Yeah, completely different.
Such a different vibe.
I mean, Yaz is completely different.
I was happy that I could understand this episode.
Yeah.
Right.
I knew what was happening.
Because it's like Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
I was also very excited about seeing Max Minghella and Kit Harington together in scenes this season. So it did not disappoint.
Yeah.
No.
So the episode opens when he's trying to keep his tears at bay as the vote counts are being read, confirming he's lost the election for MP of Wakefield to Jennifer Bevan, who we met in the last episode. Obviously, this is a flashback, but his struggling face is just so good. And then Marisa Abela as Yaz, in such a different role than we've seen her in previous seasons, also knocks it out of the park. She's playing an awesome wife, manages to turn his tears into laughter in this flashback before we join them in the current time. Didn't you think they were like kind of sweet and cute, surprisingly?
I liked that they showed, some nice moments between them because in my head I've just thought, oh, they have this like super toxic relationship based on last season.
Right.
So obviously we saw some like highs and lows throughout this episode, but
A lot of lows, yeah.
I liked that they showed some of those like sweeter moments, how she made him feel better, and I don't know, it was kind of cute.
Yeah. I kind of thought of their relationship, the way that they entered the new chapter of like, let's get married at the end of season 3 as more of a business transaction, like everything is.
Right.
Transactional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they've definitely developed some kind of depth since the last time we saw them together.
Right.
Yeah.
And she tells Harper too.
But it's also been a whole year, right?
Yeah, I think it's been a year.
I think it was, as Ali said, like it was interesting that they showed some good moments of them, because if you had gone through this episode like the way they're at with each other, very toxic,
Right.
and knowing how they started, you would not, like, I don't think you would be rooting for them. Not that we are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not particularly, but it's good to know they also have a real relationship
Yeah, it adds a lot to it.
and they can be good to each other.
Yeah.
At some points, I guess.
Right. But then, as you mentioned, current time, not so good. Yaz is drawing the curtains to a heartwarming scene of her hungover husband and his empty champagne bottles, and probably lots of drugs I didn't manage to see. It's celebration day, Henry's 40th birthday party. Yaz has the audacity to request that he actually attend it, too. She's fighting with the maid Molly, who apparently refuses to take direction from the lady of the house, and Henry gives her shit for not just letting the staff fulfill their function. But I'm on Yaz's side on this one. Perhaps because of my unrefined childhood. Henry wins the fight, though, and Yaz throws his birthday gift on the table and leaves.
I just noticed in the captions that he says to Yaz, are you going to be Peg Toddy or play Peg Toddy? And I was like, what in the world is that? Anytime I see a word like that, I always have to go look it up because it just like will bug me if I don't.
Yeah, I didn't know what it meant. I should have looked it up. What does it mean?
Well, it took me a minute to even find a reference to it, but I think it means
Really?
an attractive woman taking part in a shooting event.
Oh.
Because that's what, like, he thought that she was going to be like going with him to the shoot.
Oh, that's very specific.
Very specific.
She does look very attractive, though, in that outfit with the boots and the hunting attire. I really like it. She also told him he was going to be late for elevensies, which is something the Hobbit says in Lord of the Rings. But I did actually look that up because I was like, is it just from Lord of the Rings or is this an actual meal in Britain? And apparently it is an actual occasional meal. Didn't know that. I like it.
I think it's more of an antiquated sort of thing.
Yeah.
Things aren't a lot cheerier downstairs while they're breakfasting with Uncle Alexander. Yaz is trying to influence him to use his tabloid to court the Labor Party a little, so she's invited Jennifer Bevins to Henry's birthday party tonight. Henry's not saying much, but he does open Yaz's birthday gift to him, which is very triggering. She's brought his father's watch back to life, which cannot possibly help how this night's about to go. In fact, he barely survives the morning, perhaps only saved by the fact that Beach interrupts him choosing which gun he wants to use to kill himself. I mean, to clean the gun. Wisely, he tells Beach to change the locks on the room in an attempt to protect himself from ending up like his father did. This is a very, very sad day.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn that he killed himself on his 40th birthday. It's so insane to me that Yaz would throw him a party, like the very last thing that you should do to someone like him.
I wondered if she knew.
I don't think she knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
think like that scene is him telling her
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all of it.
But it's crazy that she wouldn't have known considering they're married. That just shows how deep their relationship
Yeah.
actually is if she did not know.
Yeah.
I mean, this seems like a very deeply ingrained trauma that he maybe has never been able to speak aloud to anybody, really.
Yeah.
So it may be just the way that things kind of half turn around at the end was the first time that he felt like capable of saying the words aloud of what happened, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Do we know if he's got a mental disorder? Has he been diagnosed with something? Because I know he mentioned taking lithium, but is that in the show?
They haven't mentioned it prior to the season, I don't think.
No, they have definitely not said like a specific condition, but I think that the fact that he was taking lithium would lead one to believe that he has.
The conversation with his uncle when they're going shooting kind of confirmed to me, like, okay, he obviously has tried to get help before, but
Right.
Yes.
I think depression. Or
Bipolar
bipolar.
disorder. Yeah.
Bipolar, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be difficult to like know how much of his personality with his relationship with Jas is actually him, especially if he's going through a really bad, period.
Right.
And we don't know if he's taking it as well, right?
He's not taking it because it made him fat.
Yeah, exactly.
But it also muted everything. Right. It makes sense. Like it's a horrible, I know people that have
Yeah.
the same issue, and it's just like, you want the lows from your bipolar to go away, sure, but to not experience any highs ever.
Change it completely, exactly. Yeah.
And from someone that has experienced extreme happiness, it's hard to take that. I know. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Does Jas know all of that stuff? How much does he know? How much is he sharing with her, or how much is he hiding from her?
Right. Yeah. I think he tells her very little of that kind of stuff, probably, but yeah, we don't see it, so you just don't know. I don't remember season 3 as well as I should. Was he kind of like on the higher side of mania, like at parts during that, or no? Was he more consistent?
Maybe a
I think
little.
there was a bit of both.
Yeah.
But then again,
Yeah.
they weren't in a relationship then. So I think the
Right.
bits that we actually saw him being, more depressive.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was pretty alluring towards her too. I just remember that pool scene.
Mhm.
And it was such an epic scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Them in the pool together and the music, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
But yeah, he was just kind of had a swag about him.
Yeah.
He had passion and confidence in season
Yeah,
3 that he's
confidence.
lacking now.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Because he's comfortable now. He has a wife and he's not,
And all of the things he's tried to do for work, for like his own self-fulfillment, have failed. So
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So you can see why he'd be in such a bad state.
Yeah.
I was so confused at the beginning though, because I was like, wait, how is he associated with Parliament? And I know
Oh,
so
yeah.
little about
Same.
UK politics, and I have to
Yeah.
shout out my friend Jesse, who definitely explained it to me last night, because I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. I was like, this is almost more confusing than the financial stuff to me.
His uncle, Alexander, is screaming at him to snap out of his depression after he's left the gun shed. It's probably not going to work. And they're discussing the medications that we were just talking about. And Henry tells him that the lithium mutes everything. You try living without feeling the upper reaches of any emotion. And therein lies the struggle, on top of the fact, obviously, that he watched his father kill himself on his 40th birthday, and this is his 40th birthday. Anyway, the last statement from his uncle, as Henry's holding the gun to his uncle's stomach, telling him to integrate his depression into his life step by step, day by day, until one day you'll find you've walked out of the woods. So the implication here for me was that Alexander has dealt with those feelings as well that his brother and nephew had, and actually managed to stiff upper lip himself right through it.
That's what I got from it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting.
When he walks away and Henry shoots the gun, he doesn't even flinch. Alexander, do you guys notice that? Like,
I did.
That was a cool detail. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
wasn't even phased. It's
Yeah.
like he wouldn't have cared if he got shot
yeah,
almost.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I got from that too. Messed up family.
Yeah, real messed up. And I mean, even if the uncle managed to stiff upper lip his way through it, doesn't mean that he is experiencing the same depth of the feelings that,
No.
Right.
either of them did.
Or just pushing it down like he suggested that Henry do,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
ignoring it and
Well, so that doesn't mean it's not gonna go away.
Right.
really just can make it worse over time.
Yeah.
The next scene is Henry in the bath, and Yaz trying to connect with him, earnestly telling him she wants them to start really seeing each other again. She tries to give him a hand job in the bathtub, but he is not into it and instead gives her permission to fuck other men. At which point, Yaz exits the bathroom.
It's so interesting how he's telling her that in this scene, and then later he's using that as like, you can't get out of this marriage because that's part of the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it means much except that he's just flitting through various thoughts, like in the scene, depending on what the argument requires of him. But it's just, yeah, you have no idea what he really thinks about any of that, honestly.
Right.
And it was after the conversation his uncle had with him about like, you better, you're gonna lose her essentially if you keep acting like this.
Uh-huh.
So it was almost like, was he saying that to like, kind of keep her happy in some way? She can go fuck other guys and
Right.
Yeah.
Every time he talks to his uncle, I also feel like there's other layer of like burden for maybe have a heir,
Right.
because that's the main thing. That's why the uncle wanted him to
Marry her.
marry her. So I wonder if he's thinking in his head, like if he can fulfill that and she gets pregnant, even if he can't
Yeah.
get her pregnant, if that would, if that weight will somehow get lifted from his shoulders.
Right.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Even if she was impregnated by someone else.
Yeah, by
it's
somebody
fine.
else. Yeah.
Just
yeah,
one
'cause
thing off his list.
I think that's pretty common in those type of families as well.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Henry's doing drugs on his museum harpsichord again when the ghost tour comes through. He screams at the tour guide and group of children, effectively scaring them off. And this is the scene we saw at the end of the first episode. What we didn't know last week is that Max Minghella's Whitney is lurking nearby. Whitney is giving Henry a solid pep talk despite his continued protests. And Whitney's final attempt, what great man has lived a life without friction, finally possibly seems to get through to him. Or it seemed to me.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not like an instant switch, but it's starting to hit the right points for him. Like when he says later to Yaz, did you brief him on how to talk to me?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he knows that it's kind of working. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I thought it was working as well.
Do we think that Whitney knows what he's going through? Because it was a very specific thing to say to him. And I don't know how much of that is public knowledge.
Right. I do think Yaz probably did tell him a lot.
So we do think that she did, yeah.
I mean, it's just my guess since she really wants him to get this job and take it. And I have to think she probably did brief him on how to talk to him,
And I'm sure he could sense it a little bit too. He's
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, this guy's not doing too well.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Has he been like stalking him somehow? I don't know. Like he seems to know a lot about everybody, which is obviously what he does.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I do think it's what he does. I think he seeks information. Like that's his primary goal.
Mhm.
But I imagine he just got it through Yaz. But who knows? I mean, it sounds like he knows people in that world. I'm sure it's not uncommon knowledge that he is struggling. And his opener, Henry said, what did Henry say?
I think he says like, I'm 100% perfectly fine or something like that. Or 100%.
Well, right.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And it's just funny because like just the atmosphere around him seems so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like that moment with the kids all there and him just screaming up there, that must have just been so traumatizing for the children too.
Mm.
Yes. That would have traumatized me as a kid.
I thought it was interesting that they have like guided tours of their home.
Right. That is also very intrusive and
Yeah.
but I think that does happen
Mhm.
in places like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like historic homes and they live in like one wing of it and then the other part of it is.
Right.
It's just far too big for everybody, yeah, and even to like upkeep it,
Yeah, to pay for it, right?
because yeah, it's like it's really really expensive.
Yeah.
I think like even the people that own Downton Abbey, is it Highclere Castle or something like that, I think it's called.
Sounds right.
They do tours as well. Well, obviously because of the show, but even before the show.
Yeah. Because you got to pay taxes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I do think it's common, but I hate it. Although I just wouldn't hang out in the museum wing, I think.
No, but like he did say that they weren't supposed to be there apparently, so maybe they overstepped a bit.
Well, I wondered that. I was like, if they're not supposed to be there, why is there a sign that says do not play on the harpsichord?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why can't he play,
Yeah.
Maybe he'd taken over more of the house since he's been living there full time or something.
Or maybe he doesn't know what's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
I
it
don't.
happen in his own house or in own life in general?
Yes.
Or it's just a total lie. He doesn't.
Yeah, doesn't know, doesn't
He
care.
just likes that room. Doesn't care.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah.
Randomly, I started to wonder about some of the music in this episode, and the piece that he's playing on the harpsichord is in A Clockwork Orange. And there are like several kind of Kubrick references in this episode. There's another piece later that's in Eyes Wide Shut. And actually, the music at the end, the very like dramatic, ominous music, if anybody out there knows what that's from, please tell me because I've been researching it and I can't figure out what it's from. But
Did it sound familiar to you?
yes, it sounded familiar, and I kept thinking it was a Kubrick movie. But
The last song?
it's like this very ominous,
Oh,
long notes,
I know what you mean.
which we can talk more about when we get to that. But yeah, I wondered if it was also
Ah.
Kubrick, just because there were two other references to it throughout the episode. And I think just the idea of the kind of dreamlike, nightmarish hallucination, vision kind of thing that's going on in the second half of the episode is kind of a Kubrick style.
I wonder if it was like original composition that was kind of made to sound similar to it.
It definitely could be, yeah, because I couldn't find a specific reference to that. But the harpsichord definitely was. The harpsichord piece is called Music for the Funeral of Queen Mary. And then the one later from Eyes Wide Shut is, I think it's Second Waltz. So
I definitely think the music is super intentional in the show. I mean, like that, the song You and Me that played in the bathtub scene, I guess was in Blue Valentine, a movie about a troubled marriage. So I feel like they like to use very telling songs about each scene, which is really cool.
yeah, and it's not overly in your face.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of there in the background and adds to the tone.
Yeah, it fits each scene so well.
Yeah.
I love that they're still continuing with all the synthy kind of stuff this season too. That's great.
Same. It reminds me a lot of like Skins. Do you guys watch the UK version?
I
No,
should
it's
watch
on my
it.
list. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to.
It's the synthy music. It really, really reminds me. It's not by the same people, but yeah, every time I hear it, it's like that just reminds me of Skins.
Yeah, I've always loved the music. That was like one of the first things that drew me to the show was the soundtrack and the music and the songs they would pick. And
Yeah, I would like to just listen to like season 1 soundtrack, etc.
there is many playlists on
I
Spotify.
bet.
Yeah, I have a few of them saved.
I also really loved the way the Whitney and Henry scene was shot because there were those slow push-ins that they keep doing. I just love that. It's very dramatic and something about it looks very grainy, like it was shot on film, and I think it's really beautiful. Both of these episodes, the previous episode and this one, had that. They used those push-ins, and they do it several times in this episode, and I just think it's beautifully shot.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was called that, but I did notice like the camera work was like, yeah, there was something different about it. So it was like a documentary feel into it. Like you can really get in his head.
Yeah, there's more handheld stuff, and
The way they shoot every scene is like so moving with, it's like you're a person moving with them.
Yeah.
I just think that's so cool. I noticed that especially during the fight scene, but
Now it's time to get ready for the party, and it's a birthday costume party. Have fun. Yaz and Henry are both dressed in period costume attire, but when Yaz stands, she towers over him in her heels and makes him feel even more self-conscious than he already does. Another move I don't think I would have made on his birthday, but she really sells that she loves him and the way she speaks to him, at least in the scene, to me.
yeah, like I historically know that I shouldn't believe her when she says that, but I somehow do. Like I'm just actually think maybe she actually loves him.
I do remember every time though, right afterwards. I'm like, oh, she told us she was going to do this, and she doesn't mean it.
That's true.
Yeah. Do you really think she's got real feelings for him, or is she just using his position?
I don't know. She sells it really well in certain scenes like this one or the flashback, or when she's talking to Harper and saying right after they got married, it was like amazing. But I guess not, because I do think maybe, like, I don't even know when she told Robert she loved him right before she got engaged to Henry. Was that real?
Yeah, I think so.
well, she had said she doesn't know how to love.
Yeah.
Remember, she said something to Robert.
I don't know if I've ever loved anyone or
I
something.
don't think I've ever loved anyone. And then she said to
I don't think
Robert,
she lets herself be that vulnerable. But I think that maybe that's why Robert didn't want anything from her, and that's why maybe felt like she could have loved him.
Right.
I think that was very different.
I took it as she said, I love you. She said, I love you to Robert, and then like ditched him, obviously, for power and money and whatever. And to me, that just meant, and I felt like he realized in that moment, oh, she had just said she doesn't think she is capable of loving anyone.
Right.
And she told me she loves me. She clearly doesn't love me. It's all just, I think just based on what everything she's been through, I don't know if I think it's all just lust and about power.
See, that to me, because I didn't know Robert was going to exit the show when I watched it. So that to me was more like, I do love you, and I'm a horrible person and I probably can't be the person that you need me to be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do you a favor and, kind of like
marry this guy.
Set you free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is horrible, but in a way, I think that was her being kind to him.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I do too, in some weird, twisted way. I think it was too, because she's fucked up and she's gonna fuck him up.
Yeah.
She's releasing him from the
Toxic.
Yeah.
tether that he had to her.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the closest to love she's ever had, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I think she probably did feel that or something close to that. And I think it's also with Henry, it's kind of like, does she love Henry or does she love how she feels when he makes her feel important?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she loves him.
Or when he gives her the things that she wants and needs. And so now it's like, I need you to be this person so that I can feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like the thing that she's confusing for love.
Was it more like trying to, get him to snap out of it? And that's, that tough love approach
Yeah.
to it. But then at the end of it, like, well, we can talk about it whenever that scene comes. But yeah, it just didn't seem sincere by the end of it.
Yeah. I have now concluded that she does not love him in the past 60 seconds.
Okay.
I wasn't sure until we had this discussion.
Perfect.
Well, because when they got engaged, she definitely didn't love him.
It
No.
was transactional.
And I doubt what was necessary to fall in love happened in the months intervening, And now she hates him.
I think they have love there.
Yeah.
In a, some sort of way, but I don't think they're in love.
They care about each other. Yeah.
Like both of them are really messed up as well, and I think they maybe appreciate that from each other. The other can maybe empathize with them.
Yeah.
Because they've had really fucked up childhoods, both of them, maybe.
And
Yeah.
I mean, this marriage got her out of legal issues and all kinds of life dominoes that were happening at the end of season 3. So it's like she seems like somebody that would equate those types of things with a version of love.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably did emotionally help each other at the end of season 3, or this gap that we had.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's real.
Yeah. Yaz's aunt has come to the party. Yaz mentioned this earlier, and I remember wondering if we'd ever met her aunt or why they were discussing her, but her inclusion in the story becomes quite clear and relevant later. For now, she just tells Yaz she's met someone, and Yaz in turn tells her she's a spectator and a caregiver in her marriage to Henry. Her aunt is horrified and gives Yaz her own pep talk about not letting Henry have the power, warns her to never give a man unconditional love. They will kill you.
Did you recognize the actor was Claire Forlani from Meet Joe Black? And
I did not. I have seen Meet Joe Black, but not recently.
I haven't seen her in a long time, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
She was good, I thought. She did a good job.
Yeah. The pep talk or the talk that she gives her is so, for Yaz's character, it's the worst thing that you can say in a way.
Right.
Obviously some of the things that she's saying, you're like, yes, I agree with that.
Right.
But Yaz is already so narcissistic.
Yeah.
But it's just reminding her to please continue doing that.
Yeah. I mean, we just discussed how she can't love really, and she's just reinforcing that.
Yeah.
Yes. Good point.
And she was obviously being a hypocrite,
Yes. Giant hypocrite.
as we see later.
Get
Right.
off your knees.
Get off your knees.
Mm-hmm.
I like in the show too how sometimes you can get a lot of little pieces of information in the background chatter, because there was a line from somebody that said, probably best not to joke about absent 40-year-olds in this house during that scene. And I was like, oh, it was before Henry came down.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't catch that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's clearly some gossip going on in the background about the dad.
Right.
That's something I appreciate about this show, is they like to include funny little tidbits in the background of conversations, like with the last episode with golfing and Trump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of the commentary in the background, people commenting. It's worth listening in on.
Yeah.
They do a really good job of layering the dialogue too. You'll be in a scene in the front. I did this a lot at Pierpoint. You'll be listening to the two people that are on the screen, and then you'll be hearing a conversation from the desk over in between the dialogue of the people that you're looking at. And it's I've gone back and rewatched scenes multiple times. Okay, this time I'm going to listen to just the background. This time I'm just going to listen to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
And it's intention, and it's not just random people talking maybe little shows and would do. Like it all seems to be intentional.
Right.
Yeah, it seems all scripted and
Yeah.
purposeful. Yeah, exactly.
And now Jennifer Bevan has arrived to the party. She did not get the memo about the costumes, it seems, but she and Uncle Alex have a little pre-party debate in the kitchens with Yaz and Jenny asking Alexander to call off his dogs and have his papers stop trying to bully her Labor Party in their headlines. So his paper is like a very popular paper, I guess we're supposed to believe.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Threatened Yaz with headlines to ruin her if she didn't marry Henry in season 3. So he clearly has a lot of sway and influence.
Right.
I would like to know why they went in the kitchen for that conversation.
So there
It's a good question. A lot of witnesses.
Because then she was like, oh, neat trick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just was like, don't they have enough rooms and
Yes.
places to go? Why the kitchen?
I thought the neat trick was a funny line, but I agree that it doesn't make no sense to actually have that conversation in the kitchen. It does not. It is odd. Good point.
It's just an interesting random place.
I suppose that upstairs there'd be people that would recognize them both. Maybe downstairs they don't.
Yeah.
I generally don't know if that many people would know. I wouldn't know my constituent. Like if I see them
in the kitchen
walking down the street, I wouldn't know that.
Right.
I wonder if there's something too about, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to land this, but like having working class people hearing this conversation and seeing what the headline is.
Yeah.
Like it feels almost more threatening or something, or like more
right
present, like the impact is more present in the room while they're talking about it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I don't know, because I feel like maybe like even the newspaper is probably read by people in their circle and, you know, people that are into politics. I don't know if, you know, a working class person would
read it,
care too much about them. Like, yeah, even read it.
Yeah.
That's true. But I think that was kind of part of what the point they were making, though, a little bit, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Harper's here for the party. That is exciting. And Henry is studying Whitney from above before they start discussing art and then philosophy. Nietzsche killed God, and you and I have a lot in common. We both want things we don't have. Let's get it together. Whitney needs a British partner for his vision, and he wants Henry to be that man.
My only note was that you guys called it last episode. I don't know if that was obvious, but I didn't realize that. That's what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't put it together. Someone else said it.
When I watched it, I didn't really think about it. Yeah.
About the CEO position.
I wasn't sure what the relationship was going to be, but yeah.
Yeah.
So well done.
So Henry being Henry, he returns to his room from this seemingly epic opportunity on offer to do drugs. Yaz finds him for a fantastic fight. They're both so good in this scene. And the whole episode, but this scene in particular to me. Henry again starts teasing suicide, and I kind of love Yaz's response. Do you realize Oblivion won't be macho? It won't be cinematic, you stupid fucking idiot. It will be procedural and boring and small, just another event for me to organize. A few tears in a black dress. Other things she admits in the speech are that she didn't vote, even for her own husband, which is insane to me.
Never has.
Insane. Ugh. And she says she truly loves him, which is up for debate. She starts to attack his father and his suicide, and she warns him if he doesn't take Whitney's offer, they're going to have a serious problem. When he threatens her with their prenup, she simply makes him roll up his sleeves, where his heroin use is on display for everyone to see. Excellent counterpoint, Yaz. She almost hits him after he accuses her of adultery, but she manages to stop herself, though he full body flinches. She begs him to rejoin the party and storms out. I thought that scene was so good.
So good.
That was my favorite scene.
Epic.
The blocking, the acting, the entire thing was one shot. It's 4 minutes long.
I was gonna say that was one shot. That was crazy, the acting.
And with all the mirrors and stuff, like I watched it a couple times to try to see if I could figure out where they were putting the camera, which I think they must have just digitally removed some stuff, because I don't think it was possible to have shot it through the position of some of those mirrors and like not seen anything in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some moments where I was like, I don't know, maybe they just did a really creative job of how they aimed these, and it just worked. But
it was so good.
Yeah, and like I think you were saying before, Allie, about the camera moving with people and following them, and like as she starts to leave the room, the camera follows her, and then she turns around and it like backs up with her movement.
It was so good.
It's just like a little dance that the camera is in with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue, the way they both like, I rewatched that scene several times.
It was really, really good. Like,
yeah,
the script and the camera work and the actors were amazing.
Marissa is so talented.
Mm-hmm.
I love when she said like, "I promise you, I will forget you." That was that was such a good I don't know, band, but yeah, like they all seemed like narcissists to be But yeah, I think saying that to somebody like Henry would be quite impactful.
Could be encouraging, really.
Yeah.
They have such good chemistry in like an argumentative way. Like the way that they fight, the chemistry between them. It's just like there's just this passion, this anger towards each other, and it's just so
Fiery
and really good. It just like didn't, it took me out of I like forgot that I was watching a TV show. I was like, wow, this just feels so real.
Yeah, all of the abrupt movements Yaz makes too when I think Kater was saying when she almost hits him and then doesn't. And then when she like grabs his crotch at the end, the castration line, all of that was just like, oh man, she's so like physically aggressive in a very powerful way in the scene too.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times they had to shoot that, like how many takes it took. I'm just so curious.
It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, or like see it behind the scenes of that whole scene being made. That'd be cool.
Yeah, very impressive.
It was fantastic.
Yep.
And the next scene, Kit, is also incredible. There's still a moment after he enters the room where you can just see Yaz's nerves all over her face, waiting to see what version of her husband has shown up to his birthday party. And it's her nightmare version. He zeroes in on Jennifer Bevan and questions who the fuck invited her, accuses her of whoring herself out to his uncle. He dramatically acknowledges he's been a disappointment to his uncle and to Yaz, crudely grabbing his crotch, like she did, lest it be unclear to anyone what exactly he means about not being the husband Yaz deserves. And then the ghost of his father arrives to spend the rest of the evening together. I really like the looks between Yaz and Harper at the end of the scene. Even though they also have a completely fucked up relationship, they're still look to each other for this, you know?
I just like didn't, I mean, I knew that it was very possible that this ghost father wasn't really real.
Right.
Like could have been a hallucination, but I was not expecting that to be his dad.
Right.
I was like, oh, maybe this is an old romantic partner of his, which is like really horrible now that you think about that.
Oh, no, it wasn't clear. I mean, he looks like a real person. I don't know why it struck me in that scene that it was probably his dad, but I don't think that it was obvious. I guess just the like timing of this person entering the scene and his drug use and departure from reality. I don't know.
And he wasn't dressed for the party. He was just and nobody seemed to recognize him or notice him at the table.
Right. Nobody else is following his like movement. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I was wondering, like, now that we know that this was a
hallucination or whatever, right?
Not a real human, hallucination. Was Henry just like having a schizo moment?
Right. Like, what did it look like to the people at the party?
Yeah,
right?
what did that look like to the guests?
The only way that I can make sense of that is that he wasn't actually speaking aloud and the entire conversation was in his own head because the entire time he's moving around the table talking, nobody is looking at him.
Right.
So he had to have just been out of it wandering around.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I just don't think, even though obviously they weren't noticing partly because there was no one actually there, surely if you just heard a person talking, continuing to speak, even if you were like, oh, he's just crazy, you would be glancing over like, what's going on there, like curiously, you know?
Right.
And there was no one doing that, which actually helped sell me on maybe the guy is real. Like I didn't really clock it right away. And I think because the only way the conversation would have made sense to people around them is if there were two people having a conversation together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that you know that he wasn't there, I think the only way it works is if it was in his head.
Yeah, because I actually wasn't sure if even the pub scene was real, if he was actually there.
Right.
Did he walk into the woods and did all of that happen in his head?
Right.
I wasn't sure if he even spoke to anybody in the pub either. So it would make sense if everything was just literally in his head. Even the dining.
Yeah, and when he beat the shit out of that guy and everyone just leaves him on the ground and nobody cares, I'm like, wait, maybe this is not happening. I don't know what's happening.
Right. Same. Because I was like, that guy could be dead. Like,
nobody.
No one's going over to check on him.
Yeah, but I guess the follow-up scene proves that it did happen, and it was hard to figure out. I agree.
But do we know if it did happen?
I do think it happened because they then told him there's no consequences. But maybe that means it didn't happen, and that's why there's no consequences.
Again, like, is that also in his head?
Yeah, maybe.
I think it did happen because there was really blood on his hands at the very
yeah.
end in the car.
But he could have had himself too, though, if he did walk into the woods and I don't know,
right,
punch a tree or something.
Could have, or like a rock on the ground.
Yeah, it's definitely unclear. There's no way to determine what's actually happening and not in this scenario.
Which again is really clever. I think everything was just so well done because you really don't know.
Right, and we're also kind of programmed slightly to know that this sort of scene can happen because it's happened in other movies where somebody imagines someone.
Because of Sixth Sense, yeah.
Yeah, and like Fight Club, like famous big movies that and shows that have done that. It's almost like a trope at this point.
Right.
And so to be able to do it effectively again after you're already like primed to think about it, I think was very well done because I wasn't sure what was going on until the end.
Agreed. Yeah, so Kit and his imaginary dad are at a pub next discussing the merits of cheating regularly on your wife, as well as the unique enjoyment of fucking a local as an aristocrat. And then Yaz and Harper are having a little heart-to-heart over cocaine. Yaz says she and Henry actually were deliriously happy at first after their wedding. Amazing sex, life-changing even. But then things take a turn when Harper gestures at the aristocratic bullshit Yaz has surrounded herself with and tells Yaz she doesn't think it's going to get her the respect she wants, which angers Yaz because she's purposefully making her sad. Harper leaves after admitting she is also lonely, and Jennifer Bevan replaces her, though sadly refuses to buff a line with her.
Just the continuing fact that we talked about before that like Yaz and Harper would even still want to be in the same room or show up as if they were still friends. It's just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Like even more than a lot of the other characters, I feel it's like, because they're all, like we said, they're all terrible to each other all the time. But particularly between the two of them, it's like, this has gone way too far.
And I think they get so easily triggered by each other. Like considering what Harper said to Yaz, it was just kind of like I didn't take it as that offensive of a comment. I'm not really sure what she was trying to say or get at, but Yaz just like took it so negatively, obviously.
Harper's tone of voice was a little bit strange. Yeah, condescending is a good word for it.
I agree.
I don't know. I feel like their relationship is such a love-hate relationship because I feel that they're really similar people. And even though they come from very different backgrounds, they both want this like power just for the sake of it. And I think, who did she have the converse? Is it with Whitney where she said, I work for fun? But like, not really. Like, you may think that you do it for that, but it's not that anymore. And it's the same with like, feel like Jazz is the same with like getting this power. And I think Harper was trying to tell her that even if she gets what she wants, she's not going to be happy. She's not going to be fulfilled, or she's not going to feel fulfilled. Because what she wants is the respect of these people, and they're never going to see her as that. Because she's one, obviously, that everybody hates her dad, and two, she's married this power, so it's not even hers. So I think that's what she meant. I don't think she meant it. Might have sounded condescending, but I didn't read it that way. I think they were having a bit of a true friend moment. Like she understands Jasmine better than maybe most people.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, but I think they can use what they know about each other to hurt each other, so it's kind of hard to know.
But I feel like that's only when they're competing with each other. I don't think they're in that point right now. Well, that's why I feel like maybe their friendship would work this time, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it almost seemed to me like Harper was making fun of something about Yaz's situation or kind of like pushing her to return to the game in a way.
But I don't think that's a bad thing though.
Yeah, I don't think she was making fun of her. Yeah, I think she's like we said, she's like so dramatically different this season because she's left the financial world, where she was working and had an entirely different role to become a wife in this manner. And I didn't think it was a bad thing that Harper said that to her. I thought it was a good thing. I thought she was trying to be a good friend and be like, this is not your best self,
Yeah.
It's better when you're an agent in your life and it's not hoping your husband doesn't fucking show up drunk and ruin this manner for you. I don't know. I did not take it the way but she did. So obviously it can be taken either way.
I think if I didn't know how many times Harper has used shit to hurt people,
true,
I would,
yeah,
like just from hearing that's how I would read it too. But she's been like so manipulative and awful and twisting things.
True.
Right. But that was when they were fighting. Like, she's gaining nothing from this. Every time I think they fucked each other over, it's to gain something, and that's not okay. I'm not saying that. But that's why I don't see it as the same thing here, I guess. She's just being a friend. But look, friends can be bitchy, and maybe that's what she's doing. That's not how I read it. But like I said, it's how she read it, so you could be taken either way.
I wonder if she read it that way because she also feels that she herself can see that, and now she's
you don't want to hear
so stuck with this guy that she might not be able to, like, if she does leave the marriage, she might not get anything, and she's spent a year not working, and I don't know how that will reflect on her.
Yeah, people often don't want to hear the truth.
But yeah, I also don't trust Harper, let's be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really don't trust Harper at all, but like
right.
I also felt like she was just kind of trying to say something to sort of make her realize she doesn't need all of that. But again, I don't think Harper's a great person.
No.
Right. I think we can all agree on that, probably.
Yeah.
That's what's so compelling about all of these like relationships and interactions, because you never know. There's so many layers of
Yeah.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, it's great the fact that you can read it in so many different ways and not, which is more like reality.
Right. You don't know someone's motivation.
we don't know these characters.
And people can mean more than one thing in what they're saying too. Like
True.
she can have that emotion under the surface, even if she's not saying it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think, like you said, Yaz pushes back from anything that touches maybe this is actually true about you, because of the loneliness
Yeah.
thing too a second later, where she's like, you're lonely. It pretty much just throws it back.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you're lonely. Of course you are.
But then Harper says it like, yeah, well, I am.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why I feel like Harper was being a little bit vulnerable with her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
Right. Yeah. It was surprisingly vulnerable of her to admit, yeah, you're right. I am lonely, for her character, not something she does often.
Mm-hmm.
Harper and Whitney are reunited for the first time since their sleepover, and Harper asked him for advice on making a work relationship long-lasting and healthy. That made me laugh, but it was also cute. Little did she know he just industried his friend. We learned that Whitney grew up poor, started out in the funeral home business, and then Harper's holding back from saying something after he says people think funerals are loving, well-attended retrospectives, but that's a fucking myth. She's like very clearly and visibly not saying something in that. What do you guys, how did you read that?
I think it's making her realize kind of how detached and like ruthless he can be, maybe. There's something in there like she's seeing the underbelly of this character to me.
Right.
And I think it's kind of frightening her a little. Like, oh, wait, I don't know. Something about the callousness of that comment, maybe.
Yeah, but it's surprising to me for her that is what would make her visibly react.
Right.
I don't
True.
know.
I agree.
I think she would be attractive to that sort of trait.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I wondered if I was kind of wondering about this. I was thinking like maybe she's seeing how careless, soulless he is in one
Right.
sense, and maybe she kind of had feelings for him, but like she's not one to ever have feelings for someone, so that seems a bit out of character.
She's also hunting around because of what the reporter told her at the end of the last episode, right?
True, right.
That there was more going on with Tinder than she knew, and that was the real company that she should be investigating and
Right.
maybe shorting. So I think she's like,
She seemed disgusted.
there's a layer of investigation in what she's doing, maybe.
Yeah.
Prodding for more details.
I wondered if maybe something had happened to her brother, or
Yeah.
it was the subject itself that felt
Right.
like she almost sort of like disconnected from the conversation for like a second.
Right, that was my next note. Is there something funeral related that I don't remember about her?
Yeah.
Like her parent or something.
And again,
but-
we've got a year gap that we don't really know what's happened to these characters.
Right, true.
That's true. There could be something, flashback or something later.
That's kind of what I went.
Yeah. I just found it very strange.
Yeah, I just feel like the specificity of like not caring about human life is kind of the over umbrella of what he's saying in a way.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
But does she care?
Yeah.
I don't think she does.
I mean, she's pretty solid herself. Maybe it's the way, like, he's very, I think I know what you mean. Like, it's not so much what he's saying, but the way he says it, maybe.
He's up to shadier shit than she thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just like, in some ways, that's kind of the top tier of callousness, to just be like,
So flippant about it.
I don't care about this person in their death. I don't know. Something about that just struck me.
For some reason, it doesn't even strike me.
Yeah, I didn't think the comment was that bad.
I initially wasn't that horrified by it because it was like it's his business. He has to take himself out of.
Yeah, but he was like,
Right.
just put them in a box and we don't care about
Yeah.
any of the details. Just stick them in like a simple wooden box and burn them up or whatever.
I didn't find it shocking. So that's part of my reaction to the scene. That's like, I don't get why she found it so shocking.
There's been a lot worse things said in this show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
It didn't feel like so out of place to me. But
Yeah.
I do know what you mean. I just didn't get that undertone from her reaction.
Yeah.
And I think she was just realizing he's up to like shadier shit than she thought.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Certainly capable of.
yeah, and that's like leading her to think about this potential short.
Mhm.
Right. I do look forward to him finding out she's shorting his company. That will be fun.
Yeah.
If she does, I mean, but I suspect she will. But I did like her also shutting down the tucking him in. She's like, no, I don't think I will.
The way he said it though was so funny. Attacking.
I know. After the whole, it was after he had gone on about the box, people just wooden boxes, and
It was after, yeah.
Yeah, that is funny.
Then maybe you're right, Aubrey, but yeah, she looked a little bit disgusted at by the end of it. So like, maybe not tonight.
Yeah, I think that she is.
Yeah, and then she, as he walked away, she made like a kind of ooh face,
Yeah.
like a shuddery face or something.
Right.
Like a bit of agreement, yeah.
No, I think that Aubrey's definitely right. I just think it feels like an overreaction for me, and I wish I could understand it better. But obviously, she's reacting disgusted to what he said.
You guys mentioned the outfits last episode, especially Harper's. I think it was Aubrey that mentioned it in the last episode. And her dress in this scene was so pretty. She looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her dress. I was just thinking the costume department must be like loving this episode after that last 3 seasons of finance and, still cool costumes, but like such a departure to do this. And I loved her dress. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Next up, Yaz walks in on her aunt blowing Otto, also horrified by that. And then back with Henry, he sees the maid Yaz was disagreeing with earlier that day and joins her table, where she oddly thinks it's a good time to tell him she hid his drugs earlier. And the old man at the table knows Henry too. He baptized him. He's trying to tell him that, but Henry can't take his eyes off the guy that's all over Molly. Now that he's pissed off that guy, whose name is George tells him all the awful things everyone says about his wife. So Henry beats the shit out of him, and nobody does a thing. Wild.
Yeah. Otto scene, he made like such a disgusting comment during that scene. He was like, "You've got a better mouth than your brother."
yeah. Oof.
God.
Yep.
Otto is awful. He keeps getting worse and worse.
I was horrified by the mint for the cock breath comment. That
Yeah.
just,
Yep.
I like I almost like felt like I could taste it based on what he said. I don't know. It was just disgusting.
It was just
so
sort
bad.
of unflattering angle as well, the way he was lying. Ugh, yeah.
Yeah,
very
it was
gross.
so bad. And then I couldn't shake the cock breath comment when she later had the conversation with her aunt when Yaz
Yes.
was having the argument. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, because Yaz literally says, "How does it taste?" And then she spits the mint out at her or like throws the mint at her. And I'm just like, this is all very disgusting, like viscerally disgusting.
It was visceral. It really was visceral.
The fact that like Otto is talking that way and does not give a shit how off-putting that is. Like, because he just knows, I mean, he's just a rich asshole that can get women
Get
to
away with
do
everything.
that. Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the manor, Yaz is kicking her aunt out of the house. Before she leaves, though, Yaz confronts her about her dad's taste in young women, girls. Her aunt tries to defend her dead brother. He was bohemian, that's all. And it seems very likely he sexually abused her too, but it's difficult to feel much for her when in the next breath she tells Yaz her father was going to abort her, except he found out she was a girl who he could raise for the purposes of abusing. Ugh, so gross, so sad.
So messed up.
And just such a like rude, awful, horrific thing to say.
Yes, 1000%.
It's like one final little needle drop moment. I don't know.
Yeah, she wanted to hurt her. Yeah. There was like a tweet someone posted where a person had a screenshot of that line and they said, "Everything I've found out about Charlie has been against my will."
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, same.
Yep. Same.
Ugh.
He needs to be like brought back from dead, then killed again, and then brought back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw someone post that on Reddit, and I was just like,
Agreed.
Just don't think he suffered enough either.
No.
Like,
Definitely
that was
not.
So like,
he was in the Mediterranean Sea or wherever the hell they were.
yeah.
At least he got to see his daughter refusing to save him, but it's still not enough.
Yeah. I wish she would have burned him.
Same.
I feel like you guys we're talking about the comment from the aunt, but like really horrible. But I feel like that's something Jazz would definitely do. Like she's such a like what we were discussing earlier. Like she gets so aggressive when she's offended.
I could see it. Yeah,
that she would really try to hurt somebody and say something as horrifying as that. Which again, it makes sense because she grew up with these people. So
right. It is really sad though to think about her fucking life and.
I don't know. Do you guys feel bad for her though? Because they're so horrible. Like even when we find out that they had such a horrible childhood, it's just like, I don't know, you're still a horrible person. And you are sort of doing the same thing these people did to you.
Right. It takes scenes like this where you're actually talking about her being sexually abused as a child for me to remember that and be like.
But do we know if that happened?
It was heavily implied when that pregnant lady from the yacht was like working for her, and then she
Yeah.
hugged her and was like, "It's not your fault" or something, and then Yaz was like, "Fire her."
That was the last episode, right, of season 3, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought Yaz in the first season was sweet for the most part. I thought she was a good friend, trying to be a good friend to Harper.
Right, yeah.
Trying her best. Like I think that just this world she's ended up in has really taken out this really bad part of her.
She was so horrible to Robert, though.
Yeah, she was using him
She took
from
it
the
out in like a
beginning.
sexual way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he did kind of say later, like, I wanted to be used, and that's why
Right.
you were able to, or that's why it happened,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
continued to happen. But still,
That's pretty fucked.
I don't think we realized how bad it was going to get either. Just kept getting
No.
worse and worse and worse. And then poor Robert.
But that's again kind of the genius of shows that are written like this, because you find your way to caring about these people that are just horrible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they add these layers and layers and layers, and you start to feel things for them, you know?
Things.
Things, yeah, to feel feelings.
Heading back to her room, Yaz runs into Haley, who doesn't have a room and oddly offers to sleep with her. Yaz is down with that, which surprises Haley, and she backs out.
That was a strange joke to make, like if she was joking. I don't even know how to read any of that.
That was my note too. It just felt such an odd thing to say to somebody that's in such a much higher position than you.
Yeah.
Right. It was pretty bold. And I as an executive assistant, I do the same thing that Haley does. I would never, ever feel comfortable
Right.
saying that to somebody that I'm like a high power like that.
Right.
So that was very bold. But I think it's foreshadowing, as we see in the preview of next episode.
I didn't see the preview, so I'm excited to see where this goes. Back at the local pub, Henry is assured there will be no consequences for beating that peasant unconscious, which is insane. The old man is having some massive regrets about not helping Henry when he was a child at this point, whether it's because of the hallucinating or the violence or all of the above. Outside, he parts ways with his dead dad, who assures him he'll be seeing him soon, very soon, before showing him the bruises around his neck. And finally, we hear what the priest was whispering a moment ago. Long before morning, you will know that what you were seeking to discover was a thing you'd known all along. Cryptic.
That part of the speech, that's what made me think that maybe everything was just in his mind. Because it felt such a coincidence that a person that would recognize him, you know, that knew his dad and what happened to him and knew him as a child, would be there in the pub.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I left and I've come back."
Right. Yeah, I'm not really sure if he's real. I like how we haven't really talked about the Christmas elements in this episode. And I kind of got like a Christmas Carol vibe from some of this.
Yeah.
With the dad being like the ghost of Christmas past, kind of.
Yeah.
And then like maybe the priest is future. I don't know.
Well, the fact that they talk about maybe having a baby could be ghost of Christmas future. Yeah. That's a good point.
I also got the Christmas Carol vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it.
I really like the priest character, though. I think he's really sweet. And the
cute.
way that he delivered the speech and the way it kind of continues, or what he's whispering in Henry's ear that you don't see. First of all, I really liked that when I wasn't sure if they were going to show what he said. Sometimes I'm annoyed and I'm just like, I want to hear what you said. But I kind of liked it in this case. And then immediately, obviously, we start hearing it. But from here until basically the next morning, this whole segment of this episode is just so beautiful, I think.
Right.
The music, the way it's shot, the way that they're layering his chunks of his what he whispered over different scenes, and
yeah,
really good.
So yeah, I have no idea if he's real or not, but
wonder if we never find out as well. I think that would be cool enough.
I bet we won't.
As we discussed earlier, it's interesting that they'll be able to like make it so it could be both. Really like that. Well done.
The next morning, he uncovers a classic car, his dad's, and is taken back to the memory of that morning his dad killed himself, leaving him at breakfast with the uninspiring but memorable last words, "Shine your shoes, boy." Then the memory continues, flashing between real-time Henry in the car, trying to kill himself with carbon monoxide, and overlaid with the priest's words. "The first person the coward deserts is himself. Courage ceases to be courage if it wavers. We choose to be ruined rather than change. We would rather die afraid than be present for a single second. Kill our illusions and live." The screen fades to black until we hear Jasmine calling Henry, and it wakes him up in time to stumble out of the garage, still alive. This is very Christmas Carol-y to me, too. And finally happy to be so. at least for the moment. He pulls the car up to the house, yelling for Yasmin, who runs out terrified, but then she's thrilled when he picks her up and lays her on the hood. She stops him only to warn him to never do that again, but then she fucks him on the hood of the car, and it seems like all is forgiven. And Alexander's watching, also thrilled. Weird family.
Creepy.
They're all clinically insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's just bonkers.
I liked, though, when Yaz pointed out in the end what I was thinking, that he's officially beat his father, because that kind of occurred to me when he woke up the next morning. It was a close thing, but he survived the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shot of the smoke filling the garage while he's sitting in the car, breathtaking to me. I love that.
Yeah.
I just think this whole segment is so like cinematic, and the way that they're intercutting between time almost felt a little like Interstellar or something to me. Like they're moving through time in a non-linear way, kind of. And yeah, the reveal was really good too, I thought, when he was sitting at the table.
Yeah, and we find out that his dad. I really like when we see him as a kid looking through the window and seeing his dad, and then you can see Kit Harington and Harry as an adult walking. That was really cool.
Sometimes I don't like those kind of like representations of something a person's going through in their mind in a physical form. But I thought they just did a really good job of it in this case.
Yeah, I agree.
It really worked for me.
I thought it was interesting when it showed his father when he was a little kid, in that moment you guys are talking about right now, him looking out the window and seeing his father walk to the tree with the rope. And then the scene when Henry and Yaz are at the car and his uncle is looking through the window at them down on the car. I just thought that kind of like parallel moment, like obviously this morning he's alive and well and having sex with his wife. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good parallel.
Wondered if that was intentional.
I think it must have been. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because they keep showing that window from different angles.
And I don't know if it was the same window, but
seemed like it was.
It seemed like it, yeah. Just we're talking about the window and the uncle Alexander looking through the window and seeing them having sex. And then he says spring is coming.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really funny.
They have to have known what they were doing there, right?
Obviously,
sure.
yeah.
Yes.
So this may be a stupid question, but the whole spring is coming. What is that supposed to mean?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Winter is coming.
Winter's coming was like...
Which is Kit Harington's family motto.
Yeah, there's like this whole theme for several seasons. You're waiting for winter to arrive. Yeah, all the commercials are winter is coming. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. That's why I didn't get that.
Yes, I forgot you didn't see it.
But it just felt like, I said that earlier as well, I commented on that earlier, that I feel that the uncle really wants an heir.
Yes.
It was such a creepy moment, but I feel like he was like, oh yeah, baby. Ooh.
To be watching the whole thing too.
Yeah.
Just one more thing about the dad killing himself right in front of the son, because he turns around, and again, we don't know if this is true or if that's his memory.
Right.
He might have not looked, but he looked around and saw him looking, right? The dad.
Seemed like it, yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that, going back to what Yas said to him, or like, if you kill yourself, I will forget you.
Yeah.
The fact that the dad did that in front of him, maybe for him to never be able to forget
Right.
what happened.
It's unbelievable that a parent would do that.
Would do that to the son, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could have gone into the woods and
Right.
do it quietly somewhere else. I don't know. It's really, really messed up.
Yeah.
Why is the car parked out there?
I don't know.
I wondered
It's not
that.
that far. Like, I
Such
thought
a
that
weird-
too. And that's why I thought, like, maybe it didn't happen that way.
Oh, maybe it's a stand on it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? There was a thing where they said he killed himself in like a meadow or something.
Yeah.
Or on the
But
moors.
then Yas said that's not how it happened, did it? Like, they mentioned that earlier.
Right, but I think what they're saying is, because they said he did it alone. I don't think it's he didn't do it in that location. I think you saw it. You witnessed it. That's the part that got left out of the story. So I don't know if him looking out the window is cutting correctly with what he's seeing. It's just him looking out the window and remembering his dad leaving. But then it's like, I wonder if he just followed his dad somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I did have the same thought.
I feel like he did it on that tree because there's like one tree right there.
He did it on that tree, but can you see that tree from from other shots that it's right in front of the yard? I just suddenly realized, like, because I remembered in that conversation that you were just talking about, Raquel, where they're like, that's not what happened. That they're saying because Henry always leaves out the part that he witnessed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or that was what I got.
But the uncle knows that because they talk about it when they're going hunting.
Right. Yeah, and then the episode ends with them flying down the countryside in the car, and Henry insanely yelling that they should try for a child, while Yaz looks back at him in horror.
It was a great expression.
Yeah.
Great shift in her mood.
Licking the blood of somebody else, possibly.
Yep.
Ugh.
All right, I guess that's a wrap on our discussion of season 4, episode 2 of Industry. Come back next Wednesday for our discussion on episode 3. Thanks for listening.
Bye.